Welcome, beloved anointed ones. Someone who treated you as replaceable is currently experiencing a full-blown internal system crash. And it is a public, irreversible collapse happening right in front of the exact people they used to gossip with on a daily basis. You know exactly who I am talking about. They walked around with absolute arrogance while constructing a false narrative about you. They whispered manipulative lies to anyone who would listen because they fully expected your departure to break your spirit and leave you crawling back. But instead, you became the uncertainty they were never built to handle. Their mask has not just slipped today, it has completely shattered. Buckle in, chosen one, because what you are about to hear is not just commentary, it is an X-ray of their meltdown. They are panicking behind closed doors right now. Someone they trusted has stepped forward to expose the absolute truth. A witness saw everything they did to you in the dark, and right now they are desperately begging this witness to tell everyone that they never tried to hurt you. They are terrified of the judgment that is coming. The silence is over. Lock your attention on this message right now. That heavy, suffocating feeling sitting in your chest at 3 o'clock in the morning is a divine alignment. The nights you wake up with your jaw tight and your heart racing are physical manifestations of a quantum shift. Listen to me very carefully. That physical weight is your highly advanced spirit detecting their absolute panic. They just realized they permanently lost access to your pure energy. They are starving for your light, while the spiritual backlash is finally hitting their own nervous system. Stop wondering why they acted like nothing happened. Stop waiting in wound for an apology from a master manipulator. Heaven has already issued the final verdict on their betrayal. You have been fighting battles in absolute silence for months. You thought nobody noticed your tears when they dragged your name through the mud. You believed the smear campaign had permanently damaged your reputation. But heaven intervened and intercepted their malicious plans because you are currently standing at the exact threshold of a massive and permanent timeline shift. Your vindication is already here. You are not a civilian dealing with matrix programming. You are the cycle breaker heaven assigned to dismantle their illusions. When they targeted you, they did not realize they were messing with a demonstrated warrior of light. They thought you were weak because you chose peace over retaliation. They mistook your profound grace for foolishness. But here is the raw truth they could never say out loud. You were not the anomaly in their otherwise normal life. You were the Myra. Your pure existence forced them to look at the rotting decay inside their own soul. The reaction got this loud because you got closer to their truth than anyone ever had. They punished you for reflecting the exact flaws they desperately tried to hide from the world. Every lie they told about you was a confession of their own hidden sins. You carried the weight of their projections while they played the victim. But the universe does not let a chosen one suffer in vain. The scales of divine justice are balancing today. They spent countless hours trying to convince others that you were the unstable one. They recruited flying monkeys to build a fortress of lies around their fragile ego. It felt like you were drowning in a sea of false accusations with no way out. But truth operates on a higher frequency than manipulation, and your truth is finally breaking through the surface. Their fortress of lies is crumbling brick by brick as we speak. The very people they manipulated to turn against you are beginning to see the cracks. The witness stepping forward was the catalyst that triggered this entire avalanche. Now they are scrambling to control a narrative that has completely escaped their grasp. They are absolutely terrified of you. Every time they try to plug the leaks in their story, another one bursts open. The anxiety they caused you is now rebounding back to them magnified 100 times. That brain fog you felt last week was just the residue of their frantic energy. You are completely safe now. The energetic cord that drained your life force has been permanently severed. Your silence during their smear campaign was the most lethal weapon you could have chosen. While they screamed to prove their innocence, you sat in quiet dignity. That restraint was not a sign of weakness or defeat. That single act of choosing your dignity over your revenge signed their eviction notice. You handed the verdict to a court they cannot appeal, and now they are trapped in a prison of their own making. They are frantically calling the witness and begging them to change the story. They want this person to tell the world that their intentions were always pure. But it is too late to rewrite history when the ink of divine justice has already dried. The exposure they feared most is happening right now. Now let us go deeper, because what you are feeling right now is not new. Listen closely, because this is the exact part the enemy tried to hide from you. There is a physical reason you have been feeling that heavy weight this week. You have been carrying a somatic weight that does not belong to you. And while you thought you were just tired, your body has actually been acting as a massive sponge for their deeply toxic frequency. You feel drained for no logical reason. Your shoulders are tight. The spiritual exhaustion is real. And every morning when you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You push through and you smile for the world. But inside, your cellular energy is completely depleted from fighting these invisible battles. That chronic fatigue is not a medical condition. It is a severe frequency mismatch. You are the stabilizer in every room you enter. You bring pure light into chaotic environments. But when you interacted with that manipulator, they treated your brilliant energy like an endless buffet. They plugged into your aura and drained your life force to feed their own empty void. You absorbed their chaos so they could feel calm. You carried their deep shame so they could walk around the city with false confidence. Every rumor they started was an intentional spiritual attack designed to lower your vibration. They needed you to stay confused. Because a confused chosen one cannot access their divine power, your brain fog was their ultimate goal. They knew exactly what they were doing. They planted vicious seeds of doubt in your community. They watched you struggle to defend your character against people who had already committed to misunderstanding you. And your body kept the absolute score. The tight knot in your stomach every time your phone buzzed was your intuition screaming at you. Your higher self was actively rejecting their matrix programming. You are an empath with a highly sensitive nervous system. You process intense emotions on a level that absolutely terrifies ordinary people. When the smear campaign started, your physical body went into profound shock. You lost sleep while they slept peacefully. But you must realize that their temporary peace was entirely stolen from your energetic reserves. You were literally keeping them alive with your light. Now they are experiencing the brutal withdrawal symptoms. The moment you chose absolute silence, you permanently cut their energetic cord. You stopped being their reliable human battery. And that sudden loss of pure fuel sent their fragile system into a massive tailspin. That is exactly why they are panicking and begging the witness for help. They are spiritually starving without your validation. You must understand that your physical symptoms are signs of a profound detox. Your cellular structure is actively purging their toxic residue. The sudden headaches and unexplained muscle tension are just the spiritual poison leaving your physical body. You are not weak for feeling this intense pain. You are incredibly strong for surviving a spiritual warfare that would have destroyed anyone else. The pain you felt was the necessary cost of your awakening. They needed you to believe that you were the fundamental problem. They wanted you to constantly question your own sanity and second-guess your every single move. But heaven allowed this painful formation season to forge your ultimate discernment. You are a rare diamond created under the immense pressure of their relentless betrayals. You thought your total isolation was a cruel punishment. You looked around and wondered why everyone else seemed to have it so incredibly easy. But your isolation was a highly calculated divine interception. God removed you from their toxic matrix to protect your sacred anointing. You were separated because your pure frequency is completely incompatible with their dark deception. You are meant to operate differently. They tried to bury you under a heavy mountain of lies, but they foolishly forgot that you are a resilient seed planted by heaven, and right now, that powerful seed is breaking through the dark soil. Your physical body is finally realigning with your massive true destiny. The heavy lifting is completely over. The universe is stepping in to fight the rest of this battle on your behalf. Every single tear you cried in secret was carefully gathered by heaven. Your silent agony was recorded as a permanent testament to your pure heart. You never stooped to their low level. You never launched a pathetic counter-smear campaign. You maintained your royal posture, even when it felt like your chest was breaking into a million pieces. That discipline is exactly why you are irreplaceable. The naive people who believed their lies were never meant to go with you. Those flying monkeys are part of the old timeline that you are rapidly leaving behind. Do not mourn the loss of people who were so easily swayed by a master manipulator. Their departure simply made room for the massive blessings that are rushing toward you right now. You are being completely cleared for takeoff. You can physically feel the massive shift happening in the atmosphere. The heavy somatic weight is finally beginning to lift from your tired shoulders. Your breathing is becoming deeper and significantly more rhythmic. The undeniable truth is rising to the surface, and it brings a powerful wave of peace. The universe is wrapping a shield around your aura to ensure they never drain you again. As they desperately try to salvage their ruined reputation, your sacred energy is returning. Your intuition is sharper than it has ever been before. The dark brain fog is clearing to reveal a brilliant and highly focused mind. You are stepping into a beautiful season of effortless clarity. You survived the darkest part of the long night, and the morning sun is finally touching your face. Let me completely reframe your reality right now. You did not lose anything when they walked away. You actually gained your absolute freedom from their toxic matrix. The smear campaign was never about your actual flaws. It was a highly calculated distraction to hide their own massive insecurities. And while you sat in quiet dignity, they spent months carefully building a false image of themselves to deceive the public. They needed the world to see them as the perfect victim, so they projected every single toxic trait they possessed directly onto you. They accused you of the exact betrayals they were committing in secret. It was a pathetic display of dark matrix programming, but the universe always exposes the truth when the divine timing is perfectly aligned for your massive vindication. Watch what happens next, because it is mathematically precise. A lie built that big requires an immense amount of energy. They have to remember exactly what they told to every single person. Their fragile ego is constantly terrified of making one wrong move, and the deep anxiety of being publicly exposed is literally eating them alive from the inside out right now. They thought they could keep you trapped in endless defense. They wanted you to waste your precious energy fighting fabricated rumors, but your total silence completely derailed their entire master plan. You refused to play their twisted and manipulative game, and your powerful refusal forced their demonic shadows into the harsh light of divine justice for everyone to see. But here is the raw, uncomfortable truth they could never say. There is a specific physical reason their manipulation temporarily worked. It is the exact reason your reality has not shifted yet. It is not a lack of faith or a character flaw. The delay you are experiencing is caused by a biological frequency that the Matrix intentionally sealed away long ago. Here is what the dark elite never told you. The reason the universe responds to certain people effortlessly is a brainwave. Scientists call it the highly powerful gamma frequency. It is the exact energy your brain ran when you were a child. back when brilliant ideas came easily and the physical world felt completely aligned with your pure spiritual essence. Then, the toxic modern world went to work on your spirit. The constant stress and the endless survival routine suppressed that frequency. The school system trained you to conform instead of create. Every single year, this powerful gamma signal was pushed deeper below the surface, and the relentless demands of society forced your brilliant mind to shut down its most advanced divine capabilities. When that frequency faded, your natural genius faded right with it. The daily synchronicities completely stopped happening in your life. You felt disconnected, and the universe seemed to stop working. This dormant state is exactly what allowed the narcissist to attach. They ruthlessly preyed on your generous energy, while your highest spiritual defense mechanism was completely offline and vulnerable. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this happened. You are absolutely not like most ordinary people. You are the chosen cycle breaker of your bloodline. Heaven is actively waking up your dormant power right now. The narcissist thought they had permanently defeated you, but they wildly underestimated the divine resurrection happening inside your cells. Their entire dark strategy relied on your continued exhaustion. They needed you to stay weak and perpetually confused. But as your cellular energy returns, their false narrative is violently collapsing. The people they lied to are starting to notice the giant holes, and the massive contradictions in their stories are becoming entirely too obvious to ignore, even for the loyal flying monkeys. They are desperately trying to patch their rapidly sinking ship. They make frantic calls to ensure everyone still believes their victimhood. But true desperation always carries a very specific and foul smell. The people around them are finally catching the scent of deceit. The witness stepping forward was just the first heavy domino to fall in a sequence they cannot possibly stop. Every lie they told is now a heavy chain. It is wrapped tightly around their own arrogant neck. They are choking on the exact poison they tried to serve. You do not need to lift a single finger to defend yourself, because the universe is currently orchestrating a magnificent public revelation of their true dark nature for the entire world. They look at your silent strength, and it absolutely terrifies them. They cannot comprehend how you are walking through fire without burning. While they age rapidly from bitterness, you step into a radiant glow. Your profound peace is the ultimate weapon that destroys their sanity. They realize they are completely powerless against a spirit that has been entirely sealed and protected by divine authority. This is exactly where their entire manipulation completely miscalculated. They thought breaking your heart would destroy your sacred destiny. They did not realize your broken heart was a necessary portal. Heaven used that portal to deeply upgrade your massive spiritual authority. You are now operating on a powerful frequency they cannot perceive, and you have completely transcended their low vibration. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this massive shift. The universe is actively releasing 3 specific stages of destruction upon your enemies. The third stage is actually the most powerful. Do not leave before you understand exactly how their dark reign ends. The divine scale is finally tipping in your favor. You have been sitting in the dark, waiting for a clear sign. You wondered if they would ever face real consequences for the immense pain they caused. Heaven heard your silent cries, and the powerful answer is already unfolding. We are entering the first stage of their irreversible collapse, and it begins with their pathetic fake confidence completely shattering. Stage 1 is the absolute destruction of their arrogant and toxic facade. They walked away from you acting like they won the ultimate grand prize. They strutted around town displaying a sickening level of false happiness. They wanted to make sure you saw them living their best life without you. But it was all a highly curated performance for a blind audience. Underneath that loud performance, they are secretly suffocating in total panic. The confidence they project is as fragile as very thin glass. And right now, that glass is severely cracking under the heavy pressure of divine truth. They realize they cannot sustain their fake persona without your pure energy to constantly fuel their deeply broken ego. They tried to replace you with cheap imitations to feed their empty souls. They gathered new people to act as their reliable human batteries, but those empty vessels do not carry your specific majestic frequency. The narcissist quickly realized that a cheap rock can never shine like a rare diamond, and this terrifying realization hit them like a heavy freight train in the dark. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming miracle and lock in your frequency. Your physical action seals the powerful divine alignment. Do not let the enemy make you hesitate for even a single second. By typing those numbers, you declare total victory over the manipulators who tried to bury your bright light. You are absolutely untouchable. Read that again in your spirit, because it is the raw truth. You are completely untouchable by their desperate attacks, and while you rest in that safety, they are drowning in severe paranoia. Stage 1 forces them to look at the massive mess they created. The vicious lies they told are starting to actively contradict each other. Keeping the false narrative alive drains every ounce of their energy. They are checking their phone constantly in a state of sheer panic. They wonder who is talking about them behind their back. The very people they used to gossip with are suddenly acting distant and extremely cold. The flying monkeys are beginning to ask highly uncomfortable questions. Their fake confidence is melting away and exposing a terrified little child. This is exactly what happens when a master manipulator completely loses control. They malfunction because they cannot script the false reality anymore. You were the only true element that actually grounded their chaotic existence. By walking away, you removed the central pillar, holding up their entire circus tent. Now, the heavy canvas is collapsing right on top of their arrogant heads. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the absolute key to everything. They look in the mirror and notice they are rapidly aging. The dark bitterness in their soul is literally carving deep wrinkles into their tired face. They are losing their hair, and their posture is completely slumping in defeat. The universe is actively withdrawing its protective grace from their physical body. Meanwhile, you are stepping into a profound and untouched, ageless glow. Your eyes are bright and your skin is absolutely radiant. You look younger today than you did 5 years ago, when they were draining your precious life force. This striking visual contrast drives them completely insane with jealousy. They cannot stand seeing you thrive while they slowly rot from the inside out. They are desperate to find a sneaky way back into your orbit. But heaven has placed a permanent wall of blazing fire around your sacred aura. They can see your beautiful light from a distance, but they can never touch it again. This is the agonizing and brutal reality of stage 1. Their fake confidence is completely dead, and they are mourning their own massive failure. The witness who saw everything is the final heavy nail in their coffin. They know this silent witness holds the master key to their total public ruin. The deep fear of being exposed is keeping them wide awake every single night. They are sweating in the dark while you sleep in profound and undisturbed peace. The scales of cosmic justice are finally shifting in your absolute favor. Stage 1 strips them of their heavy armor and leaves them entirely naked. They have absolutely no spiritual weapons left to fight the incoming storm. But this is only the humble beginning of their catastrophic public downfall. The divine vengeance is meticulously preparing the second phase of their punishment. The destruction of their fake confidence merely sets the stage for the true horror. Before we go any further, I must interrupt this transmission for something highly classified. If you are hearing this message right now, it means you are finally ready. There is a physical reason your reality has not shifted yet, and science just uncovered why. You are exhausted because the Matrix engineered a specific frequency to suppress your natural wealth-attracting state. You absorbed their heavy toxicity, and your brainwaves were forced into a dormant mode. But a leaked CIA document, backed by 4 neuroscience labs, revealed a massive breakthrough. They discovered a simple 7-second audio ritual that fixes this exact blockage. This hidden protocol bypasses the trauma and forces your brain back into synchronized gamma coherence. This classified intelligence was never meant for the ordinary masses. It was strictly designed to keep the dark elite in massive power while keeping you drained. But now powerful cycle breakers like you are using it to manifest absolute windfall wealth. You do not need a $7,000 biofeedback machine to heal your energetic body. You can access this divine alignment today through a simple energy exchange that is a fraction of its true value. But the Matrix is actively flooding the internet with dangerous counterfeit frequencies. They want you completely confused by cheap imitations that lower your vibration. The dark elite are terrified and trying to scrub this exact mechanism from the internet. Click the specific link in the pinned comment below right now to secure your alignment. Do not wait for a better moment to claim your power. Activate your pure frequency before your authentic access is permanently revoked. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario happening behind their closed doors. We are entering the brutal second stage of their collapse. Stage 2 is when their loyal followers finally wake up from the deep illusion. The flying monkeys who blindly executed their smear campaign are starting to ask very dangerous questions. They are quietly noticing the massive inconsistencies in the false narrative. The narcissist is changing their stories every single day just to cover their expanding lies. The people they used to gossip with are suddenly connecting the scattered dots. They realize they were used as naive pawns in an incredibly sick and twisted game. They understand that their master manipulator simply used them to destroy a pure chosen one. And the deep shame of participating in that wicked smear campaign is hitting them hard. The manipulator can physically feel their tight grip violently slipping away. They try to aggressively gaslight their own followers to regain control of the narrative. But the old psychological manipulation tactics are completely failing them now. The flying monkeys are quietly pulling away and leaving the narcissist entirely isolated in their dark mess. The witness who stepped forward completely validated everyone's deep secret doubts. The evidence of their betrayal is absolutely undeniable to the public now. The grand false empire they built on your beautiful name is cracking wide open. And the very people they heavily relied on for daily validation are turning their backs in sheer disgust. This is exactly why your profound silence was a highly lethal spiritual weapon. You did not have to defend your pure character to those ignorant followers. Heaven is actively forcing them to see the ugly truth with their own 2 eyes. The narcissist is desperately trying to hold the crumbling walls of their fake reality together, but the massive weight of their own deceit is crushing them completely. Type 1111 in the comments if you feel the atmosphere shifting. Your quiet obedience in private has just activated this massive public blessing. You walked away and allowed the powerful universe to dismantle their entire toxic network from the inside out. They thought they had built an impenetrable army of loyal soldiers. They believed their carefully crafted victim routine would protect them forever. But darkness can only hide the truth for a very limited season. The light of your pure existence exposed the massive cracks in their foundation, and now those loyal soldiers are actively turning into their harshest critics. The narcissist is terrified because they know exactly what happens next. The people who once defended them are now gathering to compare their highly disturbing notes. Every single lie is being dissected and brutally exposed by the group. They are trapped in a public trial of their own making with absolutely no defense. You are simply watching the inevitable consequences unfold. They are checking their phone and realizing that nobody is answering their frantic calls anymore. The profound loneliness they tried to inflict on you is now their permanent reality. Stage 2 completely strips them of their remaining social power and false influence. They are entirely without a single loyal ally to defend their wicked and desperate behavior. The divine justice is operating exactly on a highly precise spiritual schedule. Their public image is rapidly burning down, and they cannot find a single drop of water. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the absolute key to everything. The destruction of their loyal army sets the perfect stage for the final devastating blow. Let me completely reframe your reality right here and right now. We are entering the third and final stage of their catastrophic collapse. Stage 3 is the absolute pinnacle of their extreme psychological panic. They have lost their fake confidence, and their loyal followers have completely abandoned them. Now they are trapped entirely alone with their own massive demons. The walls of their false reality are rapidly closing in on them. They cannot sleep because their mind is violently fragmenting into a million little pieces. They pace the floor at 3 in the morning while staring blankly at the dark walls. The severe anxiety they desperately tried to project onto you has finally returned to its rightful owner. It is hitting their fragile nervous system with the brutal force of a massive hurricane. They are physically shaking because they know the divine judgment is imminent. Listen to me very closely right now, because this is the exact part the enemy tried to hide. They are completely out of options, and they are running entirely out of time. They try to craft a new lie to save their ruined reputation, but their brain is so deeply clouded with dark paranoia that the new lies no longer make any logical sense to the people listening. Every time they open their mouth, they just dig their graves significantly deeper. Share this specific message with one soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a shift. Be their angel today and help them see the absolute truth. The narcissist is frantically searching for a magical way to stop the heavy bleeding. They look at the massive wreckage of their life, and they finally realize the terrible cost of crossing a chosen one. Heaven does not tolerate the abuse of its most precious anointed ones. Their extreme panic is driving them to make highly erratic and deeply foolish decisions. They reach out to people they previously discarded, hoping to find a tiny shred of sympathy, but the door is completely shut, and the locks have been permanently changed. The universe has placed a strict quarantine around their highly toxic and crumbling existence. Nobody wants to be associated with their rapidly sinking ship anymore. While they are drowning in the loud noise of their own making, you are resting in absolute and undisturbed peace. You are not lifting a single finger to defend your pure and majestic name. You are sitting back and watching the divine justice operate with spectacular and flawless precision. Your total silence is the heavy anvil that is currently breaking their fragile back. They realize that your absence is the ultimate and final punishment. You are the irreplaceable diamond they foolishly threw into the dirty mud. Now they are covered in filth while you are shining brilliantly on a royal pedestal. Their intense regret is a heavy stone sitting directly on their chest. They desperately want to rewind the clock and undo the massive damage they caused. But time only moves forward, and it is marching them directly toward their public execution. Read that again in your spirit, because it is the undeniable truth. They are mourning the total loss of the greatest blessing they ever had. They watch you stepping into your magnificent, ageless glow from a distance, and it absolutely destroys their fragile mind because they cannot steal your light. They expected you to remain broken and weeping in the dark corners of your room, but instead you became the blazing sun that completely evaporated their pathetic little puddle. The psychological pressure inside their head is reaching a critical and dangerous maximum capacity. The boiler is severely overheating and the emergency valves are completely broken. They know the terrifying end is arriving because they can clearly hear the heavy footsteps approaching. The witness is no longer a vague shadow in the distant background. The witness is standing right at the front door, holding the absolute truth. This is exactly where their entire dark manipulation completely miscalculates for the final time. They thought they could bribe or manipulate the witness into keeping their dirty secrets. They offered pathetic excuses, and they literally begged for mercy on their hands and knees. But the witness is completely immune to their toxic matrix programming. The divine light has illuminated every single dark corner of their deceit. They are hyperventilating because they know exactly what this witness is about to reveal to the world. All the cruel things they said about you will be exposed as pure malicious projection. The mask is not just slipping anymore. The mask is being violently ripped off their face for the entire public audience to witness. They are bracing for the devastating impact of a high-speed collision they absolutely cannot avoid. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming victory. Your spiritual shield is fully activated and you are completely insulated from their incoming explosion. The stage is perfectly set, and the audience is eagerly waiting in absolute silence. The universe has handed the microphone to the one person who can destroy their entire false empire. Prepare yourself for the spectacular grand finale. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. It is happening right now. The moment they dreaded for months has finally crashed through their front door. The witness is standing firmly in the center of the room, surrounded by the people who believed the vicious lies. The narcissist is completely cornered, with nowhere left to hide. Their arrogant posture collapses into a pathetic display of utter desperation. They drop to their heavy knees. They literally beg the witness to stay silent. They are crying heavy tears and desperately pleading with the witness to tell everyone that they never tried to hurt you. They offer pathetic excuses to justify their deeply wicked behavior, but their tears are not born from genuine remorse. They are absolutely not experiencing a sudden spiritual awakening. They are just crying because they are finally caught in their own massive and undeniable trap. The witness does not flinch. They refuse to offer a single drop of comforting mercy. The raw truth is spoken out loud, and it shatters the heavy silence of the room like a massive thunderclap. Every single lie they told about you is methodically dismantled. It is laid completely bare for the public to inspect. The audience gasps loudly. They realize the shocking extent of the dark manipulation. The carefully constructed victim narrative of the narcissist is violently ripped to shreds right before their terrified eyes. They cannot spin this disaster anymore. The flying monkeys who viciously defended them are staring in sheer horror. They finally see the rotting monster. It is hiding behind the fake and incredibly charming smile. The narcissist tries to interrupt and spin one last desperate web of deceit, but absolutely nobody is listening to their frantic voice in that room anymore. The illusion is dead. The heavy gravity of their profound betrayal hits the room all at once. They are stripped of their fake power. They are left entirely naked in their deep public shame. This is the exact irreversible collapse we promised at the very beginning. The devastating exposure is so severe that it will echo loudly for the rest of their incredibly miserable life. Every time your name comes up in that room, it hits them with agonizing weight. They threw away the only genuine diamond they ever held. They did it just to play with incredibly cheap rocks. And now they must live with the devastating reality that they can never get your pure light back. They are screaming internally, but the universe has entirely muted their pathetic cries. While they are drowning in their public ruin, you are untouchable. You won this massive spiritual war. You did it without lifting a single finger in defense. Your profound silence was the exact lethal weapon that starved their dark demons and forced this glorious public exposure. The universe has completely vindicated your pure character in the highest court. You are the ultimate victor, standing tall on the majestic ashes of their ruined empire. Look at them scrambling like terrified insects. They are trying to escape the blazing hot light. Nothing makes your enemies sicker than watching you step into a room looking absolutely radiant and completely unbothered. They spent long years praying for your massive downfall. Instead, they became the dirty shovel that dug up your magnificent hidden treasure. The karmic debt they accumulated is now demanding immediate payment in full. This is exactly what happens when a master manipulator dares to touch an anointed, chosen one. The divine protection surrounding your aura violently repels their toxic matrix programming and sends the dark curse back. Their total humiliation is the exact required price for your absolute freedom. They will spend the rest of their pathetic days frantically searching for someone to replace your pure energy. But they will only find empty voids. Those voids will constantly remind them of their colossal and fatal error. You have completely transcended their exceptionally low vibration forever. The heavy chains they tried to wrap around your sacred destiny are completely shattered on the floor. You are a demonstrated warrior of light. You walked through the darkest fire and emerged as the blazing sun. The public verdict is completely final, and it cannot be appealed by any earthly dark force. Take a deep breath. Feel the massive weight lift off your royal shoulders. You are no longer waiting in wound for an apology. You do not need anything from a broken master manipulator. You have safely crossed the turbulent waters and arrived at the majestic shore of your ultimate victory. Heaven is celebrating your incredible resilience while your enemies weep in the dark. The chapter of their toxic reign is permanently closed. You have officially crossed the threshold of your darkest season. The divine verdict is permanently signed, and your enemies are banished from your sacred timeline. While they scramble blindly in the absolute ruins of their false empire, you are stepping into a profound peace that they can never comprehend. You are standing on the edge of the most magnificent breakthrough of your entire life. They thought your total isolation would slowly destroy your bright spirit in the cold dark. But heaven used that quiet isolation to deeply upgrade your massive spiritual authority behind the scenes. Now you are stepping out of the shadows with a brilliant energy that blinds everyone who doubted you. The people who abandoned you are currently watching your spectacular rise with profound and bitter regret. But there is one final lock on the heavy door of your ultimate destiny. You have been fighting in the dark for too long, and the portal to your abundance is finally standing wide open. The enemy will actively try to whisper severe financial doubt into your logical left brain right now. He will tell you to calculate your limited resources and wait for a much safer moment to take a step. Silence that fearful voice immediately, because that hesitation is the exact matrix programming designed to keep you permanently broke. If your spirit is vibrating with a cellular knowing right now, heaven demands your absolute and immediate action. Step boldly through the portal and leave your heavy burdens behind. There is a highly specific reason your ultimate financial breakthrough has been delayed. The toxic life you were forced to live systematically suppressed the powerful gamma brainwave that brings effortless genius and wealth. It is the exact divine frequency your brain ran effortlessly when you were a highly intuitive child. But the modern world deliberately pushed that sacred signal incredibly deep below the surface. They needed you to stay confused so they could control your pure energy. A brilliant team of neuroscientists led by Dr. Robert Lake compressed an entire gamma activation protocol into a 7-minute audio track. You do not need years of exhausting meditation. You do not need a deeply frustrating daily mantra to fix this blocked energy. You simply close your eyes, Let the specific sound wave do what the dark world spent decades undoing. It is called the Genius Song. Over 18,000 chosen ones have already used it to unlock their finances. They used it to completely heal their deeply broken generational cycles. A highly sensitive nurse from California said her entire reality now feels completely enchanted after just 2 weeks of listening. A business owner noticed his intuition solving massive problems while he slept soundly in his bed. Your own profound miracle is next. The greedy elite have quietly paid thousands of dollars for clinical biofeedback sessions. They make that massive energetic exchange to access what the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes. They would deeply prefer that this powerful manifestation technology remain entirely out of reach for pure cycle breakers like you, but they cannot hide it anymore. Through this protected message alone, you can access it today for a tiny fraction of its true value. When you claim your energetic alignment today, you also receive 4 highly powerful spiritual bonuses. You get the Genius Child audio track to activate sharp focus in your children. You get the original prosperity book that secret societies used for wealth. You also receive a guided visualization from a master creator and a printable infographic of the 5 most important daily habits for your future. Click the secure link in the pinned comment and the description below right now to claim your authentic copy. Do not look for this specific frequency on mainstream streaming platforms. They only host deeply diluted counterfeits. Those fake versions are deliberately designed to keep your powerful gamma state completely dormant. The only sanctioned portal is the one clearly linked below. Your massive universe demands absolutely no risk from a highly anointed chosen one. You are fully protected by an ironclad divine guarantee. If you do not feel the massive shift you deserve, your energetic exchange is completely returned to you without a single question. The chosen one who hesitates at the threshold simply becomes the sad one who wonders what could have been. Claim your genuine copy of the Genius Song right now before the algorithm removes this highly classified transmission. Say this out loud with me to declare your absolute victory. I claim my permanent freedom, and I accept my massive harvest. Now type "I am free" in the comments below to physically anchor this exact shift into your new beautiful reality. Subscribe to this sanctuary so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. Your gamma frequency is eagerly waiting to be reactivated today. Your royal destiny is entirely ready to be unlocked by your physical action. The heavy door is completely open. Walk through it right now and claim your majestic crown.